Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's the TheJetbuster here. This video is just going to be on some of the upgrades I did to my Axial SCX10. Most of these upgrades can be done to lower the center of gravity and also for waterproofing your electronics. I will post a short video of my mod that I did on a couple other trucks that I owned, going through the water and how deep they can go into water without screwing up your electronics. I don't believe in the plastic dip thing, because if you plastic dip your electronics, there's no way to replace your electronics without ripping all the plastic dip off, or more or less taking it apart and being really messy. And plastic dip is not for me. This way I'm going to show you guys what modifications I did to make this truck waterproof. And it's just some basic stuff. There might be other people out there that do it a little bit differently, and this is the way I have done it for years, and it works very successfully. This is a Ford F-150 Raptor body. I did extend the rear ladder bars in the rear to compensate the length of the truck, as you can see. Right now it's on a stand, so it kind of looks funny. I'll take it off the stand and give you guys a little bit better idea what it looks like off the stand. And I mean, it don't look bad at all. I am running a winch. A lot of the stuff that I do on most of my trucks is all custom by me. Okay, so I'll start with a couple of the modifications that I've done. As you can see, usually like the Dingos and some of the other Axial trucks have the battery mount in the rear, or they'll have the battery mount up top high, which is not good for center of gravity, especially when you're crawling. So what I did is I went to my local Radio Shack and picked up a 4x2x1 project box that I use to put all my electronics in there. Inside the box I have, I don't have the box off right now, so I can't show you, I have my SV2 and my receiver. I do have my winch on the outside, which I'm probably going to end up ballooning it, which is right here. This is for my winch. I just kind of wedged it in here so I can run my truck. And I'll end up taking a balloon and ballooning that over. And if you have headlights on your truck, with the electronic module for your lights, you can also just balloon it. You don't need to put it inside. Some people put them inside, but you know, I kind of leave it on the outside in case I want to remove it at some time. I did move my battery plate. Like I said, the battery plate used to be up here. I removed that. Removed the receiver box and the electronic speed controller. And most of the parts that I've used to install this box, for the waterproofing and for the battery tray, came in the Axial kit. If anybody has any questions or wants to know what parts I use to make this, this plate is very, very strong. I'll show you. You can pick it up. I mean, you can shake it around. The plate don't go anywhere, and as you can see, it's at the lowest center of gravity, and gave myself a little bit of room for the motor, in case you wanted to run a bigger motor or whatnot. And as you can see, I get a little bit better of an angle of where it's located at. And like I said, this drops your lower center of gravity for rock climbing. Usually if your battery is up here, you have more of a tendency to roll over with the battery up high. And with the boxes, what I did was I cut some of the inside. I have like 4 little posts on the inside. I ended up cutting them out and installed my electronic speed controller and my receiver inside. And when you put the screws through the box that go into the chassis, you want to use silicone. Right now, this is a new box on here. This is a new project I was working on. You definitely make a hole in the back. I use a Dremel drill and cut that out, and what you'll end up doing is silicone and all this on the outside, and you'll also silicone your 4 screw holes once your box is installed. Very easy to remove. Take a X-Acto knife, cut off the silicone, take your 4 screws and pull the box open. I did run a bead of silicone around the box before I put the top on. and that pretty much seals your electronics totally. It's pretty light. I didn't weigh it or anything like that, but it's pretty light. I've been running this type of setup on my truck for about 2 years now. On the servo, pretty much, there's a couple of good things out there for servos. What you want to do is just take off the back half of your steering servo. You want to run a bead of silicone around that. And then in the front, you use marine grease around the gear. And also silicone the center split where the servo is. You'll see right here there's a split in the servo when you take it apart. I might do a video on servo waterproofing, but that's what I end up doing. Put a lot of marine grease in the front where your gears are, silicone, a little bit of silicone on that, and a little bit of silicone on the back cap, and that will waterproof your servo. That's pretty much it on the modifications for waterproofing. And like I said, the battery hold down is used with stock axial parts. There's spacers underneath the battery tray to bring it up off the chassis so it sits level, as you can see. And then use the axial battery plate with the straps. And then in the front, I'm missing the piece for the front of it. That usually holds the battery tray in the front. I'm using just 2 posts in the back. And on the stock battery tray, you have 2 screws and then 1 screw in the front that goes through. And what I end up doing is drilling 2 holes out in the back, 1 in the front, you know, kind of lined it up so it was in between the body posts. And then I ended up seeing what my distance was, and I used some plastic spacers that comes in the axial kit, and just put them through there with the screws that it came with, the 3 screw plates that go into the plate, the 3 long black screws, and that's it. Just screw it in, silicone, 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 and then wait for it to dry, and then put your electronics in, and you run, like I said, you run your bead around here, put your electronics in. Remember, you definitely have to cut a hole in the back. I mean, as you can see, my hole's not that far down. It's probably, I would say, maybe a ½ inch. It all depends on how much wires you have come out, and you just silicone that. And I mean, you definitely want to use, don't be scared to use a lot of silicone around here. You want to move your wires around a little bit just to get the silicone in between all the wires, and make sure it's really, really tight. A little bit of seepage of water in there is going to ruin your electronics. And I mean, if you wanted to use like plastic dip around here, but I'm not into the plastic. Silicone is a lot easier to peel off. And that's pretty much it with the waterproof boxing. I don't use a cover for my gears. I've been running it like this for 2 years. I noticed that when I had used the cover, I wasn't able to adjust my pinion or change them right away and take out the 3 screws. I mean, it's not no big deal. But this way I can see what's going on with my gears, and if any dirt in here. This is the original gear on this truck. This truck's about 2 years old. And on this truck, I ended up extending the rear ladder bars, as you can see, and they're full aluminum, and it's got the 4-link in the rear. If anybody has any questions on that, how I did that, how to extend the drive shafts in the back, I can give you some information on that. And that's pretty much it. On my waterproofing, like I said, I'll add a video in this video that I'm making now of some of my trucks going through really, really deep water. The motor, really don't have to worry about getting it wet. Back in the day in the 80s when I was running RC cars, we broke most of our brushes and our motors in water, so the motor can get wet. And it all depends on what type of battery you're running. Lithium lipopolymer batteries. I usually just end up putting on the ends of the battery connections is dielectric grease. Keeps condensation of water, keeps it from rusting. I use dielectric grease on that, and if you guys have motor wires with the push-on, dielectric grease on that. That's pretty much it, guys. It's just a short video, and I appreciate you guys watching. Comment, rate, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see some more videos from me, and thank you. You gonna go first, Jeffrey? You want me to go first? It's deep, dude. Real deep. You're going under. Gun it.
Oh my god.